welcome to Fi's Film. Today we will explain the 2009 science fiction movie Avatar. Warning, this video contains spoilers. Enjoy. In 2154, there was a severe energy crisis as a result of human activity depleting the Earth's natural resources. On the habitable moon Pandora, which orbits the fictitious gas giant Polyphemus, in the Alpha Centauri star system, the Resources Development Administration mines the valuable mineral unobtainium. On the planet Pandora, whose atmosphere is toxic to humans, lives the Na'vi, a species of blue-skinned sapient humanoids standing 10 feet tall who live in harmony with nature and worship a mother goddess named Eywa. Scientists use Na'vi human hybrid avatars, which are controlled by genetically compatible humans, to investigate Pandora's biosphere. As an operator of an avatar, Sully, a paraplegic former Marine, takes the place of his deceased twin brother. Because Jake and his brother Tom shares a perfect genetic match, a special opportunity was presented to him. Take over his brother's contact with the corporate military organizations and travel thousands of light years to an outpost on the previously unexplored world of Pandora. Jake accepts the deal as his brother's body is cremated, acknowledging the ideas of starting a new life. Dr. Grace Agustine, the Avatar program's director, considers Jake as an insufficient replacement but accepts his assignment as a bodyguard. Parker Selfridge, base commander and Resources Development Administration's representative, informs her that Jake will be her team's security escort while on the planet's surface. Jake will be useful in her botanical research. Jake's avatar is attacked by a Thanator while escorting Grace and fellow scientist Dr. Norm Spelsman's avatars, and he flees into the forest where he is rescued by Neytiri, a female Na'vi. She invites Jake to her clan after seeing an auspicious sign. Neytiri is about to shoot an arrow at Jake when tiny ethereal luminescent creatures land on her bow, convincing her to hold off. They are very pure spirits, also referred to as the seed of Eywa, the supreme god of the Na'vis. Jake is presented to Neytiri's parents, a Toucan and Moat, who are the king and queen of the tribe. Jake explains to the elders that he is a warrior or dreamwalker and that his goal is to gain knowledge from them. Moat, the clan's spiritual leader, commands Neytiri to initiate Jake into their society. Colonel Miles Quaritch, the head of RDA's private security force, promises Jake that the company will restore his legs if he gathers information about the Na'vi and the clan's meeting place, a massive tree known as Home Tree that stands above the area's richest deposit of unobtainium. Jake informs the colonel and Selfridge about the enormous Home Tree, the Omaticaya's residence. There is a significant unobtainium deposit beneath it. Jake explains to them how the 1,000-foot-tall tree is built. Jake asks to be given the opportunity to negotiate with the Na'vi and persuade them to leave as Quaritch sees an opportunity to destroy the tree. When Grace discovers Jake is being controlled by the colonel, she sends Jake and Norm to an outpost. Following each day's activity training with Neytiri, human Jake records a video log of his observations. His dire horse, a significant animal to the Na'vi, is close to him. Jake needs to learn how to mount the creature so he can attach his neural network to its antenna. Jake and Neytiri fell in love over the next 3 months as Jake grew to sympathize with the natives. Jake and Neytiri choose each other as mates after being initiated into the tribe. Traditionally, a young Na'vi is allowed to choose a mate after passing their clan's rites of passage and being accepted as an adult. Jake and Neytiri find love beneath the Tree of Voices. They connect cues during mating in an act known as Sahelu. This results in a state of unified body consciousness in which both parties are able to access the physical sensations of the other. Soon after, Jake in his avatar form reveals his new allegiance when he tries to stop a bulldozer from destroying a sacred Na'vi site. When Administrator Park Selfridge and Colonel Miles Quaritch sees Jake's attack on the bulldozer on video and Jake admits that Na'vis will never abandon the Home Tree, Colonel Quaritch orders the Home Tree destroyed, despite Grace's argument that destroying the Home Tree could harm Pandora's biological neural network. Before launching the attack, Quaritch, Jake, and Grace 1 hour to persuade the Na'vi to evacuate. Jake admits to being a spy to Na'vi. Neytiri turns down Jake. The Omaticaya have bound and abandoned Jake and Grace as they prepare to fight the humans, who have arrived in a large fleet of flying ships. They capture Jake and Grace. After an hour, an amused Quaritch directed the fleet to use incendiary rounds, causing massive fire damage to the settlement and engulfing Home Tree in flames. The RDA security forces obliterated the Omaticaya clan's home tree with high explosive missiles after driving the Navis out with tear gas, forcing the remaining inhabitants to relocate. Many Omaticaya were killed during the attack and collapse of the tree, including Neytiri's father, the clan chief, a toucan, is killed by a large piece of shrapnel. His dying wish is for Neytiri to take his sacred bow and lead their people. Moat releases Jake and Grace and requests that they save the tribe, but they are separated from their avatars and imprisoned by Clarice's forces. Trudy Chacon, a human ex-marine pilot serving the RDA on Pandora under Sec Ops Aviator Wing, enraged by Quaritch's brutality, frees Jake, Grace, and Norm. She dupes their guard by claiming she doesn't want anything to do with them, only to knock out the guard seconds later. Grace is shot and wounded by the colonels as they prepare to flee the base. Trudy's ship is flown to the remote lab in the floating mountains, and the team takes a pod to another locations in the forest. Jake regains control of his avatar body. To regain Navi's trust, Jake realizes he must go above and beyond. He summons his Banshee and set out to find the Torek, a dragon-like predator that the Navi both fears and reveres. Jake believes that because the Torek never seeks an attack above himself, he can be approached in this manner. Jake leaps from his Banshee to the back of the Torek. He next appears riding the Torek at the Tree of Souls during an Omaticayan ceremony. Jake has formed a strong bond with the Torek. Jake dismounts and walks through the crowd of Navi, who part before him in awe. Sute, the tribe's new leader, accepts Jake's new role as Torek Mato. He holds Jake in high regard. Jake persuades Moat to assist Grace, who is dying. Moat starts the preparations, which include positioning Grace's human and avatar bodies at the Tree of Souls. Grace's consciousness will be permanently transferred to her avatar. Moat informs Grace that she must pass through the eye of Eywa, and that the Great Mother may choose to let her pass through to her avatar self, or she may choose to keep Grace with her. The ritual fails, but Grace tells Jake before she dies that she has seen Eywa. As Torek Mato, Jake, who is hurt and enraged, rallies the clan and orders everyone to join forces to fight the RDA. Sute will take over as the Omaticayans' new clan leader and aid in persuading other clans to join them in battle. Reuniting the Omaticaya is Jake's current focus. He emphasizes that humanity killed their mother, the being responsible for maintaining the delicate balance of life, when he uses his Q to bond with the Tree of Souls and asks Eywa to look into Grace's memories. As soon as Neytiri shows up, she informs Jake that Eywa is fair and unbiased. Quaritch builds up his fleet primarily to defend the Valkyrie shuttle. The fleet and bomb ship advance towards the Tree of Souls. Sute, Jake on his Torek, and other warriors fight off military aircraft, mostly Scorpion assault ships. Sute and Trudy are among the numerous casualties on both sides. Sute attacks the bomb ship and is killed in the process, while Trudy perishes when her ship is sunk by Quaritch's Dragonfly's barrage of gunfire. Jake instructs Neytiri to withdraw from the fight via communicator. A battalion of Titanotheres, Pandora's heavily armored dinosaur-like animals, appeared out of nowhere and engages the Earth's forces. They quickly annihilated infantry and amp-suit soldiers. Neytiri rejoins the fight, overjoyed that Eywa has heard Jake's plea for help, with many other Pandora species following her. When a Thanator appears nearby, it submissively bows to her. As the military's ground forces retreat in disarray, Jake and his Torek take to the skies to confront the bomb ship. Jake grenades the bomb ship as he approaches from above. It bursts into flames and explodes far away from the Tree of Souls. Jake also detonates explosives in vulnerable areas of the command ship. It starts to burn and dies. Jake shoots down a homemade bomber before it can reach the Tree of Souls. Quaritch, dressed in an AM suit, escapes from his own damaged aircraft and jumps free of the command ship before it explodes in a ball of flames. He finds himself at the temporary camp set up by Grace. Jake is inside his avatar pod at the camp. Colonel Quaritch shatters the avatar link suit, exposing Jake's human body to Pandora's poisonous atmosphere. He, intent on killing Jake, is now attacked by a Thanator with whom Neytiri had formed a bond and ridden to the location. The Colonel kills the Thanator using his amp suit, trapping Neytiri beneath it. Jake appears in his avatar before the Colonel has a chance to kill Neytiri. The Colonel fights in his amp suit, while Jake fights as his avatar, armed only with a piece of pipe. When Jake smashes the suit's plastic canopy, the Colonel pops it off, puts on a breathing mask, and asks Jake how it feels to have betrayed his race before moving off toward the structures that house the pods.
You think you're one of them? Time to wake up.
The battle continues. Jake is grabbed by an AM suit arm and dangles from his queue in front of the Colonel. The Colonel draws Jake closer to him and pulls out his knife, intending to slit Jake's throat. Neytiri suddenly fires an arrow at the Colonel, impaling him through the center of his chest. The Colonel is shaken and unable to continue his assault on Jake. Human Jake is aware but having trouble breathing and putting on a mask. However, much damage has been done to the lab, which is now leaking into the planet's poisonous atmosphere. Neytiri arrives and assists Jake in putting on his mask. It's the first time they've seen each other in person. With the exception of Jake, Norm, and Dr. Patel, the majority of the surviving people are being herded into a shuttle and transported back to Earth at Hell's Gate. With the help of the Tree of Souls, Jake is transformed into his avatar permanently. The end.